Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Protoss Century state-of-the-art, top-of-the-line base defense system. You can defend yourself with these wonderful force fields used to hit from multiple angles and protect you and your allies from any incoming damage. And then, of course, you also have the wonderful Guardian Shield, state-of-the-art, protecting you from any missile attacks or something along those lines. But there you have it, guys. You can't get much better than this, and for only 10 easy payments of $49.99, you send that right on over to Force Strategy Gaming. You can have one of these bad boys in your very own home. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Like a Boss. Here we teach you how to micro, macro, and play StarCraft 2 like the pros do. Like a boss. So anyways, we're going to be looking at the Protoss Century today, and in particular, we're going to be looking at the force field, how to properly force field, proper things to be doing, and just, basically how to be a pro with your Sentry. So the first thing we're going to be taking a look at is protecting your base from early aggressive pushes. Now, we're going to look at the Sentry, and we know, early game, you're getting hit, and what do? Well, you send your Sentry right on over, and you drop a force field right at the center of your ramp there, and you protect anything from basically walking up in your base. What are we thinking about? Stim timing pushes, Zerglings, Baneling bust, Roach pushes, a 4-gate, anything like that. This Sentry is basically going to save your butt. But in particular, how do I protect myself forever against ground attacks? Well, if you have one ramp, if you have one entrance in your base, and it is large enough to just drop, if it is sized enough just to drop one force field and protect yourself from incoming pressure, 5 is the magic number. These 5 sentries can literally indefinitely protect you with force fields. So what do? Well, you're just going to make sure, realize that the length of a force field is 15 seconds. So you drop that force field, you check the time in the bottom left corner, you add 15 seconds, and then as soon as that time is up, you get ready to drop your next force field. And that is the idea. The replenishing rate on these force fields will be just long enough to indefinitely drop force fields non-stop. You can see obviously all these guys are full energy, but it doesn't really matter. Literally, if you have guys just at base energy and you do this every 15 seconds, there will never be units walking into your base. That is the case. So it is 5 sentries that can indefinitely block off your ramp. How fantastic is that? Alright, the next thing I would like to talk to you about is how to quickly drop force fields. Now, we all know you take a sentry, and, well, what are you guys doing? You take a sentry, you hit F for force field. If that's your hotkey, if you have it remapped, then whatever. But the standard is going to be F here with a basically basic setup. So you take your sentry, you hit F, and you drop your force field. Okay, well, how do I drop force fields quickly? Let's say I've got a big group. Do I just hit F, click, F, click, F, click? No, that takes actually quite a long time. And it's not nearly as fast if you hold down F. That is the trick to fast sentry force field action. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to take your group of sentries, you hold down F, and then you just click to your heart's content, and you're going to drop mass force fields very quickly. It is much faster than doing the force field click action. Again, so all it is you hold down F right now, and then you just mass click, and you're going to get that nice wall off in the quickest manner possible. So again, one more time, we've got 2 options. You can either take your group, you can hit F click, F click, F click, and then just try to do it quickly, or you can hold down F and just go click, 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 straight across the board and form yourself a nice wall. And obviously, the latter of those 2 was a much quicker alternative. Alright, guys, the next thing I want to show you, now that you know how to force field quickly, I want to show you how to protect your units. So what we're going to look at in particular right now is, as you can see, I've got 5 of each unit. I've got 5 Stalkers, 5 Zealots, and 5 Sentries. And what we're going to be up against right here is 3 full groups of Zerglings. You can see all 3 tabs are completely filled up, and we're going to send these Zerglings at these guys and see what happens if you just engage normally. So here we go, Zerglings attacking my forces. I'm going to just have them engage and see what happens here. Oh, this is not looking good at all for the Protoss army. Sentries just doing their normal attack, but not much else. Stalkers doing what they can. Those Zealots got mopped up pretty quickly, and that, my friends, is a very, very unfortunate scenario. Alright, guys, so here we go. This is going to be attempt number 2. You can take a look here. We can see they've got the exact same number, 5, 5, and 5 for all of these guys. The opposition, same thing, 3 full control groups of Zerglings. But this time, the difference is we're going to be using force fields to protect our guys. Now remember, we know how to do those fast force fields by holding down F and then just clicking around. The idea here is we're going to click around our army to protect them against that massive Zerglings. So Zerglings are going to come in, going to be grabbing our guys, and then right away, click around that army, get that nice wall. Go ahead and protect your zealots as long as possible too. And what's going to happen here is that with the range over your units, you're going to be quite okay. Now remember, there's going to be about 15 seconds, and once that dissipates, you need to get ready to hold down F and drop those force fields again. Continue up that wall, and look at that. This is a much different scenario than what we saw last time. And all this is using the power of force fields. That is it. And being able to do that quickly by, as we mentioned before, holding down F, and you can click multiple positions at a time instead of doing F click, F click. That is a much different scenario there for our little friendly Protoss troops. Alright, so this time we're going to be taking a look at army splitting and how effective that can be. Now what we're going to start things off with, so we're going to be bringing up 5, 5, and 5 of each of these, the same type of group that we looked at with the defensive surround, and it's going to be up against a mixed group of 20 total Marines and Marauders. So here we go, going to bring those Marines and Marauders into this Protoss army. Let's go ahead and stim these guys up and see how this particular battle goes in this scenario. So as you can see right here, just putting up army against army, these Marines and Marauders are absolutely going to tear through our group of 15 total guys. But this time, after this battle, we're going to take a look at how that works with some army splitting. Alright, so here we go, guys. Same mix of our Protoss army against the same mix of Terran army over here. And let's take a look at that battle, but this time with some splitting here of the Terran army. So we're going to be bringing these guys in, grabbing these guys, and make sure you hold down F, and you want to just go ahead and split right across the middle. And what that's going to do is it's going to put the other guys in the back vastly out of range of your guys, and it's going to make quite a bit of a difference. Remember, you just want to split them in half, pushing them out of the range, and you can see how much more effectively, without things like target firing coming into play, how much more effectively this Protoss army is going to do against this Terran arsenal. And I actually don't think that this is going to be a full success, but you can see a much better situation just due to splitting. So that splitting is just basically an example of how you can drastically cut back the number of losses. The battle before, there were many more Marines and Marauders left behind, but with that splitting, you're in a much better situation. Alright guys, the last thing we're going to take a look at today is looking at using the force field to stop reinforcements. This is a very important and popular tactic. Say your opponent has expanded and you're pushing up onto their base. One of the most important things you can do to stop him from being able to help reinforce is just force field the ramp. You force field the ramp, it's going to have a majority of his forces basically stuck in his main base. Obviously this is only going to be on the case on any map that has one entrance into the base, but this is a very important tactic because you can just keep up this force field ramp. Remember, it's 15 seconds, so as long as you keep bringing him back and dropping that force field, it's going to allow you to freely take out his base and his expansion without having to worry about any reinforcements. And that, my friends, is absolutely positively huge. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Like a Boss, showing you how to properly use the Sentry. There are so many great and effective tactics you can use with the Sentry to play StarCraft 2 like a boss.